Shalom, shalom, beloveds. How y'all doing? I was asked, why should they take my input? Listen and let me trust that I've been broken, sifted, abused, and dog when life is rough like a diamond. Pressed in confinement when pressure's up. See many have seen so screaming for what seems corrupt. Broken home lovers turn fiends, fiending for love. In these streets, stressing, repressing the need of drugs. Sexual gratifications, replacing the need of hugs. Seeking validation, weighing our worth and value. Love, spirits, and relative sacrifice over flags covered in blood. Spilling graves, demons on shoulders, swaying when it gets tough. Painful memories, violations enforced to hush, bruises and blemishes. Painful images that erupt, percentages of pride and ego, the void that sucks. Everything that it takes to stay sane, yet not enough. Feeling that same way, filled with hatred while feeling stuck. Suicidal ambitions, doubt and shame lay on the cusp. Family's most hated target, labeled stranger and stuck. Anger, anguish, and pain when it's plain I'm anxious enough. Dangerous in that frame to explain when they claim it's bluffs. Among people who are not who they exclaim and usually drain. Listen close to your sorrow, scheming, do you the same? Use you, gaslight you, confuse you, exclude you once they gain. Crucify you with nooses, call you nuisance and watch you hang. Offer no solutions, excuses, introduce you to blame, but I maintain. I love it, man. Love it. It's not fully finished, don't worry, you know what I'm saying? I'll let y'all hear the whole song when it's fully all the way done, right? But I want to wish everybody a blessed and beautiful day, afternoon, evening, whenever y'all see this. You know what I'm talking about? Appreciate y'all for giving me y'all time, you know what I'm talking about, to be able to tap in and let's all learn together and things, you know what I'm saying? I pray that everybody's having a blessed day, you know what I'm saying, that you're enjoying your family, your friends, you know what I'm talking about, your friends' families, you know what I'm saying, the many blessings that have been bestowed upon you this day, you know what I'm talking about, as some people did not have the opportunity to arise this day, you know what I'm talking about. However, yet here you are, you know what I'm saying, arisen and having life in your lungs and stuff like that. You still have bodily functions, you know, access to bodily functions and stuff like that, you know what I'm talking about. Just know that, you know what I'm saying, that you were truly blessed for real, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes we get lost in the sauce and feel like that we're not blessed because we focus on every other thing that will, you know what I'm saying, dismiss the things that are the most important things, which are the most simplest things in our lives, right? You know, you have people that love you, you have people that's in your corner, you got people that support you, you know what I'm talking about, regardless if you get the type of support that you desire to have, but yet, you know what I'm saying, you still have support, people that pour into you, you know what I'm talking about, people that pray over you and things like that, because we are in a time where people feel like that they deserve to be prayed over. Nobody is deserved to be prayed over, you know what I'm saying. The Most High has us created for us to pray over each other, you know what I'm talking about, is because this is what he desires us to do, you know what I'm saying. People don't have to pray. Everybody has a free will, you know what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that in a manner of, you know what I'm saying, that you're not worthy. What I'm saying that in the manner of is that sometimes people take it and run with it and feel like that, okay, well, I'm going to have somebody to pray for me regardless, when there's people out there that don't have anybody that knows of the Lord, that don't even know, you know what I'm talking about, the Father, that don't even have any type of reverence for the Father or any type of intimate relationship for them to even have an unction to be able to pray and to be able to intercede for other people, you know what I'm talking about, let alone for interceding in their lives. You see that? And so, you know, you just kind of be able to take it and see it for what it is and just see it through, you know what I'm saying? So just be very appreciative, you know, because people wake up and be like, oh, well, here I am again on earth and all this. And it's like, well, you didn't have to be. There's many people who would have graciously traded your spot, their spot for yours, you know what I'm talking about, for them to be here and alive, you know what I'm saying? And there's other family members and friends of those people who would have been like, hey, you know what I'm saying, why not these people who are unhappy? You know, so just make sure that you're happy for real, you know what I'm saying. Take time to be delicate with yourself, love yourself through the storms, and know that the Most High loves you, right? So I want to speak today about spirits. I want to show y'all something. Let me pop this off with this first. Let me show y'all. and then we'll get into it, right? So let me see here. Turn this light up so you can see it.
Mic for the videos. And what's it?
I think it is at
If you've been in a car accident, it's important that you do not sign
they're gonna
any
do these little
insurance
ads.
companies give you if you do not have.
Give me a moment though, right?
It's like a semi-transparent,
Okay. All right. So let me cut it up so y'all can hear it. And I want to show y'all this, and then we'll get into it, right? I guess maybe do it like that, kind of in the shade. Let's see.
Shadow. Okay. It's just waiting around, but the moment the guy goes to.
Hold on, right quick. Before we do that, let me wipe this back camera off. I think these back cameras might be a little. So I have no excuse, right? All right.
Steal the car. Look what happens. Look. Let me see it. No, just. You see? Yeah, just. He gets in the car. Yeah, so he's getting in the car, and then look at the shadow. Look at. Whoa, look at the spirit. People in the comments are saying it's a demon, and this is how demons have access to people. Look. So the moment he runs and grabs something from the car. Oh, he runs with him? It runs with him. Okay, what is that?
I don't know why Ephesians 6 and 12, like.
And let me bring it back just a little bit more because it's kind of blurry. Hard for y'all to see it, right?
It's waiting around. It's like a semi-transparent like shadow. Okay. It's just waiting around. But the moment the guy goes to steal the car, look what happens. Look. Let me see it. No, just. See? Yeah, just. He gets in the car. Yeah, so he's getting in the car, and then look at the shadow. Look at. Whoa, look at the spirit. People in the comments are saying it's a demon, and this is how demons have access to people. Look. So the moment he runs and grabs something from the car. Oh, he runs with him? It runs with him. Okay, what is that?
I don't know why.
Right. All right. So y'all seen that, right? I wish it was a little bit bigger. Can't make it too big on this one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it don't get that big. So y'all seen it. There was a dude that was robbing, that was stealing something out of a vehicle, out of a car, right? And so there was an entity that was across the street. The entity was utilizing, you know what I'm saying, that pull to be able to have the person to come into agreement with the sin in order to utilize that person. This is a semi-borderline possession. We know that a full possession would entail that there is a spirit that is inside of the person, right? So one thing that people don't really get is that within things like this, you know what I'm saying, there are entities that wander abroad, you know what I'm talking about, in this reality that many people cannot see. But yet cameras and stuff can pick them up, you see? And so this should show you that the spiritual realm is very much real. Just because we cannot see it with our eyes does not mean that it does not exist. Excuse me, right? So because we don't see it with our eyes, people tend to feel like that it does not exist. You can't see the wind with your eyes, but yet it exists. You can't see a person's essence, you know what I'm talking about, but yet a person has an essence, right? And so when we understand this, then we understand, you know what I'm saying, the deep schematics of how the spiritual, the supernatural, and the natural realm operate together. this is another reason why some people who are finally tuned into the Holy Spirit and, you know what I'm saying, who have a covering of the Most High within their lives, then they're able, you know what I'm talking about, to, they're able to see and know certain things in people and to speak to those things, you know what I'm saying. Other people that are not as connected will look at those type of conversations and they will say that the person is talking to them or that the person seems crazy or whatever. But yet we know that in Matthew, you know what I'm talking about, whenever you know what I'm saying, Yahusha ended up casting the spirits out of the man that was possessed, and then so they seen him and was like, oh, wait a minute, you know, they knew who he was, right? Okay, I'm gonna end up having to do another video to give more far depth because I didn't bring that stuff right now to the forefront, you know what I'm saying, of what I really want to get into. Let me write this note down so I can remind myself, so I don't forget, right? Because I think that, you know what I'm saying, explaining that to y'all would be a little bit more interesting as well. Let me see here. There we go. All right, so I got that in my notes for me to present that to y'all, right? All right. So one thing that I was gonna say is this: is that part of what I wrote down, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna expound just a little bit on this, and then the rest of it, I'll have the meat and potatoes for that certain video. Is that whenever we have a covering, you know what I'm saying, whenever we are covered in his grace and his favor unbeknownst, then this means that there is some form of a blockage that he will not allow, you know what I'm saying, us to be able to be fully possessed by entities. You know what I'm saying, we can be swayed by these entities and stuff like that because we will come into agreement with these things, right? However, only whenever we give ourselves into in doing the invocations and everything like that is whenever we are able to be possessed. But also it could be a person that's a family member that has, you know what I'm saying, invoked certain entities and spirits and stuff like this, when some people can carry a demon unbeknownst. And so this is another reason why some people don't know that spiritual attacks or I guess spiritual harboring would look like whenever we have children that have, you know what I'm saying, autism and all these type of things, and then we'll say it's a birth defect. But those things that we know that whenever dealing within witchcraft and all these type of things, you know what I'm saying, and demonic possessions, these entities siphon certain things, whether it be intelligence, you know what I'm saying, like people do witchcraft to try to siphon the intelligence of a person, or they'll end up sacrificing their babies that's in their wombs, and this is why you see those type of things in the movies and stuff like this, right? And it seems far-fetched, but it's really not far-fetched, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing stranger than there's what it says. It says, I forgot what that saying is, nothing stranger than fiction or whatever, or than reality or something. Reality seems more stranger than fiction or something like that, right? But so this is what people don't really understand. So sometimes whenever, you know what I'm saying, there certain attributes of autism and stuff like that, it could be that there's a parent that has dabbled into something that is super super demonic or whatever, and so there's a sacrifice that is required, and so they offered, you know what I'm saying, their child, or dedicated their child, or they haven't, aside from even dedicating their child, there's a stronghold on that person. So now with, you know what I'm saying, it now travels and transpires unto the child or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And so we're going to get into a lot of that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, to kind of give y'all a breakdown of that, but just bear with me, right? Because I think I'm putting the cart before the horse, and some people is like, well, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't know that, I didn't think of that. And it does work that way, you know what I'm saying. Whenever you study, you know what I'm saying, certain things, scripture and stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, certain things are given to you for you to be able to be knowledgeable on certain things, right? Because whenever you see how the spiritual realm really operates, then you know, right? So aside from that, I want to speak about these things right quick. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna all correlate together. You know how I rock, right? So the 5 signs that someone is a witch, you know what I'm talking about, or that you're dealing with witches, or you know what I'm saying, demonic presences, right? So I want to go through these 5 things right quick, give y'all an explanation on these things, and then we'll delve into scripture and stuff like this as well, and then we'll go ahead and speak further about, you know what I'm saying, what I'm speaking about, right? All right, so now the first thing is that fishing for personal information. You know what I'm saying? They fish for personal information. You know what I'm talking about? So they fish for personal information. They fish for personal information, overstep boundaries, you know what I'm talking about, or they will force their will upon us, right? And so when we have people that we deal with that end up, you know what I'm saying, like some of these people that come off, you know what I'm saying, as family members or as friends or people that have your best interests at heart, but yet they're manipulative, you know what I'm saying, and they really don't have the interests at heart. It's only their own desire that they're looking for to be fulfilled in order for them to be able to, you know what I'm saying, implicate what type of things that you have going on within your destiny, within your life, your family, your relationships, all these type of things, your goals and stuff like that, is what these will do. You know what I'm saying? Demonic entities like familiar spirits or witches and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, that would do these type of things, right? And so whenever you don't give them, you know what I'm saying, information, or you don't share the information, and they tend to condemn you or whatever, you know what I'm saying, make it seem like that you were an issue, you know what I'm saying, why are you so secretive, or why didn't you tell me, you know what I'm saying, all these type of things, right? One thing that we keep in mind is that witches and demonic entities need information in order for them to act, you know what I'm talking about, in order for them to act, right? Whether for rituals or whether for spreading negativity, you know what I'm saying, to use that information in order to invoke, you know what I'm saying, blockages, right? Spiritual blockages that can block your progress, right? And so we know, let's go over here, let's go to Psalms, right? So let's go to the book of Psalms. And we're going to go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 20. Psalms 20 and 3 through 4. Right. So Psalms 23 and 3 and 4. And it says, remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt sacrifices, Selah. Grant thee according to thine own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. Right. Is that the right one? I'm tripping. I said Psalms. I'm in Proverbs. My bad, beloveds. So Proverbs 20. There we go. Proverbs 20. And let me see here. Give me one moment. Okay. So I wrote it backwards. I wrote it dyslexic like. So it's not Proverbs 20, it's Proverbs 4 and 23. I wrote 20 and 3 and 4. So 4:23. All right. So here we go. Proverbs 4 and 23. And it says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life, right? So it basically tells us to guard our hearts, right? And let me write this in my notes the right way, because I definitely wrote it wrong. Oh no, it does say that. I'm tripping. What was I looking at? Oh, I was looking at part 2. My bad. Yeah, it says it right here. Proverbs 4:23. Getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so Proverbs 4:23, you know what I'm saying? So guard your heart, right? And so whenever we guard our hearts, you know what I'm talking about, is to basically guard our spirits, because we know that what comes out of our heart, you know what I'm saying, is what will defile us. And also what we you know what I'm saying, feed ourselves, spiritual food and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, can have an implication upon us, you know what I'm talking about, where if we watch things that are of wickedness, or we believe the lies that people tell us or whatever, then those things, you know what I'm saying, end up becoming deep rooted into our hearts. And so now we end up, you know what I'm saying, veering into a direction of where the enemy has swayed us to be able to allow access, and thus, you know what I'm saying, we defile ourselves within those things, right? And so we know that within witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, and familiar spirits, and you know what I'm saying, entities and stuff like that, is that, like I said, they need information in order to act, you know what I'm talking about. So it's whether it's for rituals or spreading negativity, to use information to block progress, right? And so this is why we use the verse Proverbs 4:23, you know what I'm saying, above all things guard our hearts, right? And so we know that if someone we can tell if someone brings like, all right, so let me say it like this, because I this is a pre-note, is that whenever we give information to people, right, and the people that pretend like that they're family or friends, or you know what I'm saying, that they are acquaintances that are cool or whatever, right, then one thing that we know is that once we tell these people certain things, then you know what I'm saying, they end up bringing doubt and chaos and negativity after you share, you know what I'm saying, the information that you have given. So this is one of the signs that you're able to decipher and tell, right? Okay. Another thing is number 2 is engaging in idolatry, right? And so by engaging in idolatry, you know what I'm saying, these are doors that you know what I'm saying, witches, or you know what I'm saying, demonic entities or whatever, or spirits, negative spirits, unclean spirits, will use to open doors for manipulation and control. So we know that when what is this? My words just said. When evaluating something, I think that's evaluating. I wrote it like a doctor. But yeah, so when evaluating something or someone, you know what I'm saying, to a place that elevating. So yeah, so when elevating someone or something to a place that only, you know what I'm saying, belongs to God, you know what I'm saying, or Yahweh, right, the Father. And so this is, you know what I'm saying, engaging in idolatry, right? And so they want to see anything wrong. They won't see anything wrong with it, right? You know what I'm saying? They'll make excuses, or they'll look at it as, oh, well, it's not idolatry and all this type of stuff, and you know what I'm saying, the simplistics of it, but it's not, you know what I'm talking about. So they also will go to any extreme in length to fight over or to protect their idol, you know what I'm talking about. And so within that, it could be, you know what I'm saying, how we see some people don't realize that they have operated into idolatry within this last election. You know, there was a divide between, you know what I'm saying, the Democratic and Republican Party, you know what I'm talking about, and so many people were trying to make excuses and get mad. Oh, it's not the same bird and all this type of stuff, but yet it's the same bird. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that they'll go to combat us against us talking the truth about, you know what I'm saying, the you know what I'm saying, the agenda, you know what I'm talking about, of wickedness in the kingdom of darkness, then they try to make their point to seem that it is, you know what I'm saying, of something that's valid. So they'll go to bat for these idols. You know what I'm saying? They got people that go to bat for Trump. They got people that was so mad because they had family members that voted for Trump, and so now because they had idolized, you know what I'm saying, Kamala or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then they feel like that they don't want to speak to their family and all this type of stuff. And this is what they have done, and they will deny it, but the truth is the truth and a spade is a spade. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have clearly put, you know what I'm saying, these people over the you know what I'm saying, the Most High, right? And when you do that, you know what I'm saying, then this is idol worship, because you have went to war for a people or a person who don't care about you, you know what I'm saying, and who can't do anything to provide for your household, nor can help you out in a storm whenever you are stranded on the side of a road, or whenever you're going through depression with a family issue, or whenever you're needing comfort and healing. You know what I'm saying? You have exalted these people over, you know what I'm talking about, the Most High in your life. And so that's a form of idolatry, you know what I'm saying? And let me go ahead and show you here. Let's go to Exodus, right? So let's go to Exodus. Exodus 20 and 3, and it says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is under the water, that is in the water under the earth." Right? So it's talking about throughout it all, you know what I'm saying? And so the thing that people don't realize about this part is that even when it says that the waters underneath the earth signifies, you know what I'm saying, marine spirits. Now, people don't know that they dabble into marine spirits or the marine kingdom, you know what I'm talking about, but yet they do within certain things, you know what I'm saying? When, you know, you mess around and you have these images of Oshun and Yemayai and, you know what I'm saying, and Kai and all these things, or even whenever you have the images, you know what I'm talking about, of Oladumer, you know what I'm talking about, Shango and all this type of stuff, or whenever you have the images of, you know what I'm saying, the false Messiah, the white Christ and all this type of stuff that's born on the crucifix, the crucifixion, that image, you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff is a form of idolatry, right? And so, like I said, idolatry is not limited to just, you know what I'm saying, individuals. It's also, you know what I'm saying, with certain things, right? So we know that within idolatry, you know what I'm talking about, you can have a career, you know what I'm saying, your possessions, your money, relationships, the status are all used as idolatry, you know what I'm saying, to be able to shift the focus from the Most High, right? And so we understand that with that, you know what I'm saying, it's something that is being able to be used to as a form of manipulation and control over us, right? And so this is also with celebrities and stuff, or people that people idolize, you know what I'm saying, even the name idolizing these people should show you that it's idolatry. But yet, you know what I'm saying, people that will use it, these people will use it in a form of manipulation to have people fight their battles for them and to not even care about the people, right? And so as we dive into that, it gets into number 3, right? And so number 3 is the they love manipulating and control, right? They love manipulation and control. And so they thrive on manipulation and controlling people to get what they want, right? And we know that dominion and power, and they will go to great lengths in order for them to achieve it, right? So there's people that are on a small scale that people look up to, just like you have these YouTubers, these social media influencers and stuff like that. Then you have people that are in the churches and stuff like this. Then you have people that are, you know what I'm saying, that are celebrities. Then you have people that are governors and that are, you know what I'm saying, congressmen and stuff like this and all this type of stuff. Rich people that people look up to. All these many different people, you know what I'm talking about, have an influence. And so these, they operate in, those who are not of the Most High, they operate in the love of manipulation and control of the people. And so this is the point that I was trying to make in the previous one that I just got through saying, is that they will have people to fight their battles not caring about the people. So you'll see people going to bat, you know what I'm saying, against family members for Kamala or for Trump or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and then you know what I'm saying, trying to fight for these people, just like, you know what I'm saying, there's people that try to fight over celebrities, you know what I'm saying. You better not say nothing about Biggie, you better not say nothing about Tupac, you know what I'm saying. You better not say anything about even these new celebrities, you know what I'm saying. There's people that's willing to chew your head off, you know what I'm saying. I've seen it with people, you know what I'm saying, that mess around and they ready to kill behind people that's like Kevin Gates or even NBA Youngboy and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. And these are just some names, you know what I'm saying. But there's people that's in the same thing that, you know what I'm talking about, that people will end up going to bat to try to defend, you know what I'm saying, because they praise these people as their idols or whatever. And these people tend to use a form of manipulation, you know what I'm saying. They will use a form of manipulation and control. And so because they do that, the people don't know that they are being manipulated, you know what I'm saying. So this is another reason why it is a form of witchcraft. It's just like, and so let's even just get off of celebrities, right? Because people always want to be tender about celebrities and stuff like that, which I don't care, because celebrities are main ones that do it. However, there are main people in our families that do it as well. Certain family members, you know what I'm saying, that will manipulate and control other family members, you know what I'm saying, whether it be aunts, uncles, or you know what I'm saying, grandparents, or, you know what I'm saying, mothers and fathers, you know what I'm talking about, sisters or brothers. Any of these people will try to sway things to go into their favor for them to be able to use the relational pool that they have within the family to make other people feel like that said family member or whatever who opposes what comes against them, you know what I'm saying, opposes their will or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. They will use influence and manipulation and control with those other family members to form a go along, get along group. So now other family members are talking about said family member or whatever. This is why we have black sheep, and this is why we have many people that end up leaving the family dynamic. You know what I'm talking about? It don't really have faith fully in a family dynamic, because we have so many you know what I'm saying, people that operate in witchcraft, and you know what I'm saying, and entities that operate through these family members as well, right? You know what I'm talking about, within their manipulation and control. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, this person didn't do the life that I want them to do, so now they're a bad person, and now they tell all the other family members, and all the other family members is staying away from that family member and looking at that person like that person is wicked or whatever, not realizing that they're operating in witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High didn't call for you to, you know what I'm saying, to condemn people. You know what I'm talking about? To call for you to condemn family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He called for you to end up being an edification, you know what I'm saying, an encourager, to be able to have patience and love, kindness, humility, you know what I'm talking about, and compassion towards the people, towards your family members and those that are your neighbors, right? And so whenever you look at other family members as they're nothing and treat them as they're nothing or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then hey, guess what? You fall into that same dynamic. And so you can't get mad whenever things transpire into your relationships as you grow, and then mad that the Most High has allowed certain things to happen whenever he was doing that, because what you sowed is, you sowed bad fruit. And so, you know what I'm saying, you have sowed of the flesh, so therefore that you know what I'm saying, karma, whatever that people will call it, you know what I'm saying, has ended up coming to a head. And sometimes we don't see it as that. It's been plenty of times where I felt some type of way against family members, and then I had faced certain things, but I knew automatically right then that, oh, well, wait a minute, this might be karma for that. And so this is how I ended up being able to fine tune and sharpen up my spiritual vision, and to make sure that I don't put my mouth on people, you know what I'm saying, as everybody else likes to do. They like to put their mouth on people, and you know what I'm saying, and try to slander and whatever they can do. You slaughter a person's character or whatever to make themselves, but then they end up being in situations where things are not favorable, and then they don't realize that you're in that situation is because you put that curse on yourself, because you entertained that spirit, you know what I'm saying? And so that spirit has now come to collect, right? And so because you have, you know what I'm saying, used that form of manipulation, then you are not fully covered, right? And so let me give you a Bible verse with that. Let's go to Galatians 5, right? So let's go to Galatians 5. Okay, so we're in Galatians, and we're going to go to Galatians 5 and 1, right? Galatians 5 and 1, and it says, "Stand fast, therefore, in liberty, wherewith Christ hath made us free, and not entangled again with the yoke and bondage," right? And so the yoke and the bondage is the things that, you know what I'm saying, the things that we will bound ourselves to, right? So under that manipulation and control, this is why Galatians 5 and 1 is very significant for this that I'm speaking about, right? Is because, you know what I'm saying, as the Mashiach makes us free, you know what I'm saying, stand therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ, which the Mashiach hath made us free. You see that? So this means that we're not chained to things. We're not bound to things. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, because we have not exalted other people or family members to allow full control, you know what I'm saying, in our lives, only giving the full control to the Father, you know what I'm talking about, Abba Yahweh, right? And so we also see that I feel like it's finna burp right then. It's coming, I feel it. Salakia. But also, love spells in relationships and in a family dynamic, you know what I'm saying, is the form of witchcraft. It still all falls into manipulation and control. We're still on topic 3. So, you know what I'm saying, love spells in relationships and family dynamics, you know what I'm talking about, is a form of witchcraft and things like that. Thriving on your own willingness to say no, you know what I'm saying, is a form of manipulation and control. So there's a lot of us that we love family members or friends, or we have a love and compassion towards people, and so sometimes that will end up, you know what I'm saying, being a thing of where we have an unwillingness to say no or create boundaries, you know what I'm saying, for people, and we'll allow people the free space and free reign to be able to do whatever they do in our lives, crossing our paths, right? And so we set ourselves up for failure whenever we do that. And so as we do that and we understand that, you know what I'm saying, it is not for us to set ourselves up for failure, but us to be able to have boundaries to set, you know what I'm saying. And so whenever you love yourself, then you will not allow other people to control you. One thing that the Most High has always shown us throughout time is that he is not a controlling allure. You know what I'm saying? He gives us free will. He allows us the space to do whatever we want. If we choose him, if we don't, you know what I'm saying? Yet he yearns for us to have a relationship with us, right? He's not doing nothing to be like, oh, let me go ahead and just, you know what I'm saying, take you through the ringer and then make all this and then, you know what I'm saying? No, there's things that happens in a certain process, because within chaos, order is needed to be founded, you know what I'm saying? But we're not misconstruing those two. Whenever you are aware of those two things, then you see how it is in your life, is that you're able to run rampant, you know what I'm saying? There's many people that have lost themselves into all these other things which they allow control over them, finances and money and other people, and you know what I'm saying, just to be wanted and to be gratified or validated throughout other people of the world and stuff like that. So through materialistic things and desires, you know what I'm saying, to fulfill these voids, right? Yet, you know what I'm saying, the Most High is still allowing you to be able to do these things. You know what I'm talking about? He's not forcing himself to control the situation for you to be able to. He's allowing you free reign and wants you to make the choice. So whenever I say that to say this, is that whenever we are operating in the factions, you know what I'm saying, of righteousness, and you know what I'm saying, operating in the law and the statutes of the Most High and of the Adonai, right, then we know that we are not to be controlling for each other. So anything that operates outside of that would be the adverse or the opposite of, you know what I'm saying, the Father, which would be the opposite of his love, which is the controlling aspect, you know what I'm saying. And so this goes into that dark magic and witchcraft and all these type of stuff, demonic, unclean entities, you know what I'm saying, through that control, right? Also, another example is that they use guilt you know what I'm saying, fear or insecurities. They always play on your guilt or your fear or insecurities, you know what I'm saying. Oh, well, because you don't really care or you don't want to, so now, you know, I can find somebody else, and that plays on the spirit of fear. So now once they play on that fear, then you're like, well, I don't know, well, I guess I'll go ahead and allow myself to undergo whatever they want me to do, so therefore I don't lose them or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Or they'll play on your insecurities, they know that you're insecure about something, and so they'll play you against you within your insecurities and make you feel like that you're not good enough via the inadequacies, you know what I'm talking about, in order for them to be very manipulative, to have some form of control or whatever, you know what I'm saying, which is, this is also goes into the factions of a Jezebelic spirit, you know what I'm saying. Many men and many women use the Jezebelic spirit, you know what I'm saying, because that Jezebelic spirit is a self-serving spirit. It's of pride and of control and manipulation, you know what I'm saying. Just as we know in the book, when Jezebel in 2 Kings or whatever, when Jezebel was manipulating, you know what I'm talking about, Ahab. Right, Ahab was a king of Yisrael of Israel, you know what I'm saying. So he was appointed into a position. Jezebel wasn't appointed into that position, but yet she ended up weeding herself into, you know what I'm saying, the head of the situation and having control or whatever. And so now this man couldn't make his own decisions. He would always have to try to go to her or whatever. And so he was a feeble man, you know what I'm saying. He was very weak. And so this is why, you know what I'm saying, there is an Ahab spirit that people can fall underneath, you know what I'm talking about, whenever dealing with, you know what I'm talking about, manipulation, you know what I'm saying, of Jezebelic spirits, right? And so Jezebelic spirits can be within, like I said, celebrities, within people who are public figures, within family members, you know what I'm saying, friends, all these different people, is how, you know what I'm saying, this manipulation and control, you know what I'm talking about, or this form of witchcraft is ended up being induced into that relationship and that dynamic, right? Now another one is seeing your flaws and boundaries as obstacles. So you can end up having, you know what I'm saying, flaws, or you can have boundaries, and so now they see those things as obstacles to be able to overcome those things, where you will be like, well, you know what I'm saying, I don't like to eat past 7 o'clock, you know what I'm talking about, on the weekdays or whatever. And then, you know what I'm saying, they're like, oh, well, it's this favorite restaurant I want to go to, and now we should go there. And, you know what I'm saying, and the best food is served at 9 or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, in order for you to break those boundaries and be like, you know what, and you give in. Because now when you give in, then they have sunk their hooks into you, you know what I'm saying, and also using manipulation and control. So now once they know that the subtleties, once they are able to utilize those things, you against you, and for you to drop your boundaries, then this means that now with that small little thing, that there's something bigger that they can use in order for, you know what I'm saying, to sway you into a direction of where they want you to be at, you know what I'm saying, or to utilize you for whatever, you know what I'm saying, to wrap you around their finger and, you know what I'm saying, just drag you through the mud, right? Okay, so number 4 is practice or encourage occult activities. They practice or encourage occult activities, right? And so a quick rundown of a few of these activities is magic, voodoo, divination, fortune telling, you know what I'm saying, and other forms of witchcraft, and witchcraft in and outside of the church as well, you know what I'm saying, yeah, because I put that part in there as well, in and outside the church, because sometimes we'll speak about witchcraft and there'll be a lot of people that are in Christianity, and so they operate in witchcraft and they don't think that they do, and they don't see that certain things, you know what I'm saying, the religious spirits and stuff like that. And even whenever I say that, this still keeps in mind that there is things that are outside the church that operate in witchcraft, because there are many people that'll be like, yeah, see, I told you the church is false and all this type of stuff, but then there's people that do magic and voodoo and all this extra stuff, and kitchen witches and church witches, that try to make it seem like it's something, you know what I'm saying, that's not just as bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like a spade trying to, or it's like the pot trying to call the kettle black, you see? And so, you know, they try to run just to validate themselves, but we know that that's a form of manipulation, you know what I'm saying, for them to try to manipulate it and to sway it against from what they are doing, you know what I'm saying, in order to make themselves look, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more innocent, which they're not. You know what I'm talking about? It's that deep water, and they all got they knees in it, knee deep in it, right, in the mess. And so these things, let me see here. These go against, you know what I'm saying, the Most High's words, and they open up doors of spiritual harm, or open up doors to spiritually harm, right? So we know that the reason why people are drawn to the occult, right, is that is basically because they look for shortcuts, power, and answers outside or control outside of the Creator's design, right? Again, the reason why people dabble into occult is because they look for the shortcuts and power and answers or control outside of Yah's design, right? And we know this to be true because when we think about it in scripture, we think about, you know what I'm saying, Simon the sorcerer, right? How Simon the sorcerer wanted to be able to have the power of the Holy Spirit and was willing to pay handsomely for that power, right? He wanted the shortcut. But because he didn't have the Holy Spirit, then, you know what I'm saying, he was not able to do the things that come within the design of the Most High. And so we have a lot of people that operate in that same dynamic. Whenever they see us being able to have, you know what I'm saying, worked in our lives, and to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, the oil and the anointing of the Holy Spirit within us, in the covering and favor of the Most High over us and through us, right? Then they look at it and they think that it's something that is just, that can be easily made up, but it's not. It's an actual walk. You actually have to do the work. You know what I'm saying? You cannot get to this point, you cannot get to this point, you know what I'm saying, without going through the shadows and the valleys, you know what I'm saying, the shadow and the valley, you know what I'm saying, the valley and the shadow of death, you know what I'm talking about, for you to go through those shadows, for you to go through those things that were the messy parts of your life, and actually desire to want to do great things, you know what I'm saying, to actually present yourself humble, to actually present yourself as submitting, and to be able to, you know what I'm saying, discard those things that you know that are not of you, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to get to certain points, you know what I'm talking about, spiritual, you know what I'm saying, alignment, right? Where in the cult they teach you that it's called enlightenment. And so this is another thing of whenever in the garden, you know what I'm talking about, how the enemy was able to trick and manipulate Eve and Adam out of their spot, is because he wanted to give them the thing of knowledge of good and evil, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and the knowing of good and evil, you know what I'm saying, just like what I was talking about yesterday, as far as whenever people consider themselves good. And we know that, I think that's Matthew 10:48. Let me see here. Let me go here. Where is it at? Let me see. (10:18). There we go. So Mark 10:18, not Matthew. Salaki, my bad, right? The wrong M. So when it says Mark 10:18, where it says, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except Yah alone," right? And so we know that there was a emphasis, you know what I'm talking about, that Yahweh is inherently good, and that no human can be considered truly good of their own, right? And so proof of that as well, you know what I'm saying, let me go here, because there's proof of that. Let me see here. Well, let me read it first. Let me read these like 2 or 3 inserts, and then I'll give it to you, right? So Psalms 14:3, you know what I'm saying, they have turned aside, they have together become corrupt. There is none who does good, no, not one, right? Then we also see in Luke 18:19, no one is good except for Yahweh alone, right? Then we know that Proverbs 10:7, good people will be remembered as a blessing, but evil people will soon be forgotten, right? So even whenever, you know what I'm saying, in Galatians 6, 9 through 10, you know what I'm talking about, it says, it's basically, you know, subphrased is do good, or paraphrased, do good to everyone, especially to those in the household of faith, right? And then Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before others that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Now, your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. This is the one that I wanted to speak about. Okay. Very unnecessary, but so that's how the enemy works whenever you get to doing, you know what I'm saying, the enemy want to do distractions. So the main one I want to speak about was this, right? Is it says that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighted in his way, right? So the steps are ordered by the Lord. So if the steps are ordered by the Lord, the Adonai, then we know that, you know what I'm saying, it is not of man's own design that he's doing the good. The good comes from the Father. And so as the good comes from the Father, then this shows here in Romans 12:21 how we're able to overcome evil with good, right? And so this is another reason why it goes into Matthew 5:16, and it says, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Not glory to you, right? And so Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupting talk come from your mouths, but only such as good for building up, right? Which we're called to do. So the good is the practices of his laws and statutes, you know what I'm saying? So it's not of our own good. This is another reason why people will consider themselves to be good, and you know what I'm saying, they're very much mistaken, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone is flawed, right? So one of the things is this, let's see here, going back into for practicing or encouraging occult activities. One thing, you know what I'm saying, is also the emulation, because they will see certain things that that those who operate for real in the Holy Spirit and in love, you know what I'm saying, and in the ordinance of the Most High are able to do, then they want the shortcut, right? And so as I spoke about Simon the sorcerer, then also, you know what I'm saying, they will try to emulate, or they will try to introduce these practices as something of a small thing, you know what I'm saying, as harmless, right? And so when we know in witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, operating in those things, they tend to consider it to be white magic, you know what I'm saying, which we'll get into after we go through point 5, right? You know what I'm saying, they'll do something like a small offering of a gift, you know what I'm saying, like a crystal for like positivity, you know what I'm saying, oh, this is for positivity or whatever. Or they can offer a candle for protection and for manifestation, right? And so we know that as many times that the enemy makes darkness appear harmless. And so they'll claim good magic, you know what I'm talking about, but occultists do things, you know what I'm saying, in a certain order and unbeknownst, right, under spiritual uncleanliness, right? So we know that the occultist gives instructions like do this ritual at like 3 a.m. or whatever, or repeat this phrase a certain amount of times or whatever to manifest money or love into your life, right? And so it all starts harmless, you know what I'm talking about, and they say that they can end up being like, well, this is how you connect with the universe and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. And they end up sending, you know what I'm saying, they can also end up sending spirits in dreams and stuff like that to try to gain access. So as they do like tarot or whatever, you know what I'm saying, I feel like that, they'll say things like, I feel like, not knowing. It's never knowing, it's always a feeling. Oh, I feel like that, you know what I'm saying, this or that, or you know, that you have a grandmother or a grandfather or somebody who has crossed over, basically, right, that is telling me this. And so this is what they're using as a familiar spirit, you know what I'm saying, in order to tell them certain things and to kind of relate things to you, because there are certain familiarities that you now come into agreement with. Just like when I was speaking about yesterday, how, you know, there's another part of the occultist is where they will use, you know what I'm saying, birth charts and all this type of stuff, houses and, you know what I'm saying, nodes and using your astrological sign. You know what I'm talking about? And the main thing is that all that type of stuff is flawed anyway, because if we know there's 13 months, then there's no way that the astrology would actually be accurate and correct. But it is only because they choose to believe it, and they are trying to invoke, you know what I'm talking about, a spirit of agreement and familiar spirits on you, you know what I'm talking about, to be able to ping back information to them so they can be able to enhance and increase in their powers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't know. They look at it as it's harmless, right? But this is the first entry level of it. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and call some of these things out. Let's just go there first, right? And then we're going to point 5. So we know that, you know what I'm saying, doing those type of things is called white magic or white witchcraft. What white witchcraft consists of is, you know what I'm saying, people using a psychic ability, or, you know what I'm saying, they using the psychic ability or the things that they are using or think that they're using it for good, you know what I'm saying, to cast love spells or to do attraction magic, or, you know what I'm saying, whether it's manifestation of money, to help people and things, you know what I'm saying. But this is the first introduction of the witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, that they use, because now after they've used it long enough, then it will end up requiring them to try to elevate and grow into something more, right? And so we know that it'll end up being black witchcraft, which we know black witchcraft destroys things like destinies and lives. And so there's many people that start off within, you know what I'm saying, certain occultic practices of magic, of voodoo and hoodoo, you know what I'm saying, trying to use these things for good. But then they'll be like, oh, well, I can use this to try to block somebody's destiny, or to swap somebody's destiny, or to pull on their energy, or to curse them in their sleep, or to poison them in their spirit, you know what I'm saying. And so that goes into black witchcraft, right? Then we know that red witchcraft demands blood and sacrifices, eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood, you know what I'm talking about, animal sacrifices and human sacrifices, right, in order for them to be initiated. So this is them graduating from, you know what I'm saying, the black witchcraft into the red witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, for them to be a head red witch or warlock. You know what I'm talking about? And this is another reason why those colors are very much occultic. Why you have the white, black, and the red whenever you're dealing with the Knights of Templar or certain Masonic lodges and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as the hierarchy, you see that we know that the Knights of Templar are one of the highest orders, and so within that, the colors are red, black, and white. We know that cross, you know what I'm saying, and the circle and the square and just the shapes and all these type of things, right, operate into those things. But also, it's not just the Masonic order. There's actually orders of witch covens, you know what I'm saying, which persist of these type of things. And so this is why they wear these certain colors and stuff like this. Why you will mess around and you can see a witch or a bruja or whatever, you know what I'm saying, wearing white or whatever, you know what I'm saying, as you think that it's a purification, but really, you know what I'm saying, it's implication of something else that's a little bit more deeper than meets the eye, right? But like I said, we'll just kind of explain some of this type of stuff so that way it can give some people some insight on what's really going on, right? Then we also know, you know what I'm saying, to be initiated, you must sacrifice a person, and you have to bring a person for people to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, and throughout the year, right? And so this is why they have the satanic, occultic, you know what I'm saying, sacrificial ritual calendar, where, you know what I'm saying, there's things, because I spoke about this last year, where there are things that some require animal sacrifices, some require, you know what I'm saying, children sacrifices, some require sex magic or sacrifices of adults from certain ages, you know what I'm talking about. All these type of things are very demonic, and so this goes into witchcraft, and so many people don't think that witchcraft is very much real. So now, you know what I'm saying, the reason why I started this video off with showing you that spirit that was controlling that person, you know what I'm saying, and having that person come into agreement, was to show you that there is that witchcraft and sorcery is very much real, and there are people that that invoke and send out, they summon and send out spirits in order for them to have a covering over a person, to possess a person, and to influence a person to do their bidding in their will. This is why that spirit was kind of far off, you know what I'm saying. Salakia. We also know that, like I said earlier, if a person allows themselves to to be a gateway into these spirits, and you know what I'm saying, opening up themselves as a portal, then this is how possessions come. Also, there's other things that'll end up going into that as well, but like I said, that'll be a whole nother video, just kind of tapping a little bit, because this video will connect with that video once I end up making that video, you know what I'm talking about, which will come soon. All right. So now that you understand, and you know that number 4 is the practice of occult, practice of encouraging encouraging occult activities, you know what I'm saying, via magic, voodoo, divination, fortune telling, and other forms of witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, in and outside of the church, right? This is another way that you know that you're dealing with an unclean spirit or a demonic entity or a witch or a warlock, because we know that there are people that are in churches that will mess around and they will try to sway you and manipulate, you know what I'm saying, say this prayer, you know what I'm saying, umpteen times, and then sow a seed of $1,000 and all this. Sow a seed of $1,000 and you can get blessed, like, you know what I'm saying, and it'll be like, man, come on now. You know what I'm saying? But we know that these people then come in the name of being prophets, but they're false prophets. They're not really, they don't have any for real ties to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And so they're using it as manipulation, and they're working for the kingdom of darkness. And this is why a lot of people can get veered and steered from, you know what I'm saying, really being able to have a intimate relationship or even believing in the Father, you know what I'm saying. But this another thing is that those people don't know that their punishment is very much is a very deep punishment. When they mess around, they transition, you know what I'm saying, there's gonna be something that's really for them, and they don't think that it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, it's harsh, but trust me, it's definitely gonna be harsh, you know what I'm saying. Because one thing I know about the Most High that I serve is that, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to his punishments, he don't play. He not one to play. He gonna hit you where it hurt every single time. You know what I'm saying? And people always tend to think that their arms is you know what I'm saying, long enough to box with them, but you know what I'm saying, they end up showing they too short every time. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why it's called a double portion. You know what I'm talking about, right? So another one is this. Yeah, see here. Is the 5th one is negative patterns follow their presence, right? And so it's like whenever you tell them, you trust in them. Like this kind of goes back into point 1 where it's talking about they fishing for information or whatever, and they want you to tell them information and stuff, right? So once you tell them information and stuff like this, and you tell them about what your goals are or the things that you're trying to do, then now it comes, you know what I'm saying, these moments that just topple, that, you know what I'm saying, negativity follows, you know what I'm talking about, where it end up being bad luck follows with them, or misfortune follows in the events, you know what I'm saying, of you explaining to these people or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And so you got to be very careful, you know what I'm saying, because people hear words, but they feel attitudes, right? And so what that means is that, you know what I'm saying, a person can hear what you say, you know what I'm saying, but yet there's an attitude, a spirit of jealousy, of envy, you know what I'm saying, of conceit, you know what I'm saying, deceit, deception, and stuff like this that they hold, which is, you know what I'm saying, within that attitude. And anybody that knows about attitudes also knows that these attitudes carry energy, and these energy is what's used to be able to be pulled on in the spiritual realm to help manifest these negative attacks against you or whatever you're desiring to do, you know what I'm talking about, to implicate you in any form spiritually, you know what I'm talking about. And so the kingdom of darkness all coincides together, right? And so we know that many people carry bitter, jealous, envious, you know what I'm saying, even if they never say it, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, that energy carries their desires and to see you fail, right? So it's just like they have this thing, there was a meme where it was Scar, and you know what I'm saying, it's like a little picture, and you know what I'm saying, they'd be like, I'm proud of you or whatever, and he'd look at you, the look on his face is looking like, I'm proud of you, but I'm not. Like, I really hope that don't happen for you. And so it's many people with that type of attitude, you know what I'm saying, whenever you tell them certain things. And a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, they operate, like I said, inside and outside of the churches, you know what I'm talking about, in families and amongst friends groups and stuff like this. Because one thing that we know is that the enemy, the one main thing that the enemy does is that all disguises come in the form of a friend or a controlling family member. You know what I'm saying? A friend or a controlling family member. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why people try to show themselves friendly, to manipulate, to act like that they're nice and they're compassionate, they care about you or whatever. However, they'll try to use whatever they can to manipulate you. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to fall in line with their agenda. You see? And this is how it's witchcraft. You know what I'm talking about? Some of them know it, some of them don't, you know what I'm saying? But the entities that they carry know it. This is another reason why I'm not just saying witchcraft, why I'm talking about unclean spirits and demonic entities as well, is because there are many people that are under that influence, right? Okay. You know, also, one thing I didn't get to tell was this, is that within part of the form of the manipulation is that they will do things like a sob story, woe is me, and act like that they're victims and stuff like this, in order for you to have some form of compassion, for you to let your walls down, and to, you know what I'm saying, so they're, oh, nothing goes right in my life, and I'm just, you know what I'm saying, and they, you know, just these big sob stories and crocodile tears, you know what I'm talking about. And so you realize that, you know what I'm saying, by the time it's too late, you realize that they done slipped you a Mickey. They done hit you with the okie doke, you know what I'm talking about. They done sold you a dream, you done bought some wolf tickets, you dig? So it's just one of those things where it's like, man, they played me, you know what I'm talking about. But they'll do that type of thing because they do that in order for them to get it to swing in their favor. Now, this is not a sexist comment, you know what I'm saying. However, that there is a lot of women that are really masters of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call a spade, you know what I'm saying. There's men that are masters of it as well, you know what I'm saying. But the main thing is that, you know what I'm saying, is that there are many people that will use these type of tactics. And here in this reality in society, you know what I'm saying, of the social construct of the matrix that we are dealing with right now, you know what I'm saying, it is a lot of women, you know what I'm saying, it is more women than it is men. And this is not something to be like, it's just all women is this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not a woman basher, none of that. What I am saying, though, is that it's very manipulative. There's so many people that will cater to, you know what I'm saying, the wounds of a woman because the woman needs to be covered and protected. Oh, my goodness, for real? That's dope. Wow, they got a hot air balloon out here. I like that. Wow, I've never seen, where I'm at, I've never seen a hot air balloon, you know what I'm saying? This reminds me of New Mexico. I like that. Wow, that's crazy. Sidetrack, you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Man, let me see if I kind of want to show y'all real quick, you know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Right. Y'all see that? That's dope. I can't make this up if I tried. But yeah, wow. All praises. I like that type of stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, mess around and it's very manipulative, and so this is another reason why the industry, or you know what I'm saying, even the occult or witch covenants and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, will utilize those type of things, is because they know in order to be able to penetrate, you know what I'm talking about, in order for them to be able to penetrate, you know what I'm saying, the camp of a man, or even the camp of, you know what I'm saying, of provision and protection of those who are sit on the front line, they will use that which can end up being able to be used as a weakness. And so because we know that, you know what I'm saying, we are to provide and to be able to look out for a lot of sisters and stuff like this, then this is why there are so many that fall underneath the spectrum of not wanting to be accountable. So they'll play victim, they'll do crocodile tears. There's been so many videos where I've seen where, you know what I'm saying, they get caught cheating and they cry, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, and it's just crazy. And it's the same thing with men. There's men that, you know what I'm saying, they mess around and snotty tears and boogers and take me back, I did not know what, and I be like looking like, man, you better not take this buster back. Like, you know what I'm saying, to each his own. It is what you willing to deal with. But certain stuff, I just be like, man, that's beyond me. You know what I'm saying? Certain stuff as a person should really be beneath us. You know what I'm talking about? Within our truth, right? So, yeah. So the fifth one, like I said, is negative patterns that follow. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you tell them about your goals and aspirations and things, you know what I'm saying, or tell them any good news, you know what I'm saying, then negativity, you know what I'm saying, attributes and it aspires into those, you know what I'm saying. So they fake enthusiasm, you know what I'm saying, subtle negativity. People under dark influences carry sabotaging energy, knowingly and unknowingly, you know what I'm saying. And so they can manifest blockages, you know what I'm saying. You could tell them about a relationship, you know what I'm saying, oh, I really have my eye on this person, or our relationship is going good, and next thing you know what I'm saying, the relationship is now falling. Is because the enemy has utilized them, you know what I'm saying, as appearing eyes in order for them to be able to manifest blockages, right? So again, going from 1 to 5, you know what I'm saying, the number one thing, how you know that somebody's a witch, you know what I'm talking about, or that they're dealing with negative entities or demonic entities, you know what I'm talking about, unclean spirits, is fishing for information, you know what I'm saying, overstepping boundaries and forcing their will upon you, right? That's number one. Number two is engaging in idolatry, you know what I'm saying, opening doors for manipulation and control, you know what I'm saying. Number three is they love manipulation and control, right? Number four is practice or encouraging occult activities. And then number five is negative patterns that follow their presence, you know what I'm saying, whenever you tell them good news or whatever, right? Things tend to collapse. Now, one verse that I did not read was pertaining to number 4, and it was Deuteronomy. So let's go to Deuteronomy real quick, right? So it's Deuteronomy 18. So let's go here. So Deuteronomy 18, 10 and 12. So Deuteronomy 18, 10 and 12, it says that there should not be found amongst any of you that maketh his son nor his daughter to pass through the fire, nor that use divination, or an observer of the times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Adonai. And because of these abominations, the Adonai, thy Elohim, doth drive them out from before thee. Right? Now, let me see here, because that's something else. Is to be weary of, right? Whenever you're dealing with people. So I have these little things to be wary of, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you tell them things, does their mood shift? Does their expressions change? Do they ask for every detail and explanation, right? And so these are just a few things that you can use as beacons, you know what I'm talking about, in order for you to be able to decipher and use discernment amidst these people that, you know what I'm saying, that you deal with on a regular, or these people that come and introduce themselves into your lives, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to be covered. The main thing is to always pray and seek discernment, and always give it to the Most High, you know what I'm saying, for real. Because one thing that we know is that spiritual warfare is definitely real, but the victory is more realer. Right? Spiritual warfare is real, but the victory is more realer. We know that. You know what I'm saying? You do not serve, you know what I'm saying, the Elohim who is just like, hey, just lay down and take it. You know what I'm saying? You serve one, or I serve one, we serve one, Salakia, who is very powerful. We serve an Adonai, a Lord, you know what I'm saying, that is above those things that definitely are beneath us. You know what I'm talking about? Thus, you can look in Ephesians 1, 20 through 23 for the proof of it, because all those things that's beneath us has been placed under his feet, right? Now, one thing as well I forgot to speak about is this, and I'm just glad because what I said, speaking, what stem this is me talking about things that have been placed under his feet. So we know also that in witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, that with witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, that there are spirits that people will consider themselves to have spirit animals. What's your spirit animal and all this type of stuff and all these type of things. This is also a form of witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, which goes into the occultism, because we know that through what is it? What's that word? Mythology. There we go. Through mythology, you know what I'm saying, and through Egyptology. And we also know, you know what I'm saying, through like certain stories and history that, you know what I'm saying, there's a signification of spirit animals. And so we know that witches can actually transmogrify, transmogrify themselves, you know what I'm talking about, into animals, and then also half animals, you know what I'm saying. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because we know that in the scripture where it says that we have the power to tread over scorpions and serpents and scorpions, you know what I'm talking about. Then also there's a scripture that talks about to be able to tread over the lion and the small lion and the adder and the dragon, you know what I'm saying. This is also a form of showing that we tread over those things that, you know what I'm saying, operate in spirits of witchcraft as well, aside from, you know what I'm saying, demonic entities of the kingdom of darkness. You see, sometimes we hear those verses and we think of it just as the animals or the creatures, you know what I'm saying. But there's things that can turn into these creatures. There are people that have the ability through the kingdom of darkness to transfer into these creatures and these entities, you know what I'm saying. And even those things and those spirits have been placed underneath the foot of us, right, in order for us to be able to have the authority over those things which we are given, you know what I'm saying, through Christ, through the Mashiach, right. And so we know that, you know what I'm saying, the reason why I brought up the Egyptology and the mythology and all this type of stuff is because the half animal and half human, you know what I'm saying, is all throughout history and time, you know what I'm saying. And so many people think of these things as an allegory, but these things are a little bit more deeper than an allegory. If we already know that, you know what I'm saying, the fallen angel had ended up experimenting on creatures and stuff like this, you know what I'm talking about. And so this is why in the water there were so many dark creatures and things that are, you know what I'm saying, of marine kingdom, like mermaids and stuff like that, or, you know what I'm saying, things that were on the land that, you know what I'm saying, half man, half animal, minotaurs and all this type of stuff, and sirens and all these type of things, you know what I'm saying. These things are not so much far-fetched. Whenever you look up, I think it is a it's a 17th century calendar or 14th century calendar. I think it's 14th or 17th century. I can't remember right now off the memory, but it shows that on the outskirts that there's many different entities, you know what I'm talking about, that are half man, half human, certain things that don't even look common, you know what I'm talking about, just like they got the Yeti, or aka Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever, which is not full man, it's a humanoid, you know what I'm saying, wolf man, dog man, all this extra type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. These things are a lot of operate a lot within the demonic kingdom, you know what I'm talking about. And so people don't really know that, but that's another reason why it was a flood, why the Most High flooded a lot of things, and a lot of those things have been placed underneath the water. But this is another reason why whenever we read and talk about that, you know what I'm saying, the Messiah was Mashiach was able to walk on water, then it shows that he had authority over the marine kingdom, you know what I'm talking about. And so those things were placed underfoot, you see. It's another part of that, you know what I'm saying. There's so much depthness in these verses that when you read them and that you really understand from a for real spiritual aspect, then it's more that will help you to be able to walk into your full authority and to know that, oh, okay, well, yeah, so I really shouldn't fear it, you know what I'm saying. That does not mean don't be cautious of these things, but also don't walk in fear for these things, you know what I'm saying, because they don't have authority, you know what I'm talking about. They're not given authority. They have to ask for permission. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to ask for permission as well. You know what I'm saying? We must present ourselves humble. You know what I'm saying? Presenting ourselves humble and asking for permission. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we can command things as they are, but the most thing is to have reverence for the Father and to ask and have that consideration. You know what I'm talking about? And this is how we're able to walk boldly. You know what I'm saying? Before the throne, right? Is that we're walking before the throne. Like the throne can be back here, and I'm walking boldly before the throne, you know what I'm talking about, and talking to, you know what I'm saying, my situations, those things that are coming against the throne, that are coming against my ambassadorship, that are coming against my household, that are coming against my destiny, that are coming against my favor, my mantle, you know what I'm saying, my anointing, all these things is because I am powered, you know what I'm talking about, by the King of Kings, right? And so we know that, you know what I'm saying, the half body Baphomet is one of the ones that shows that those things that are animal, half human or whatever, right? Okay, so now let me show y'all a little bit of this video, and then after that we'll conclude. And after I show y'all this video, I'll end up posting the video in the mystery school, so that way you can be able to see, click on it and watch the full video of this, you know what I'm talking about. But this coincides with what I'm speaking about as far as spirits, you know what I'm talking about. Let me see. All right. Let's see. It should be like.
We have about.
All right.
Three levels of witchcraft. We have the white witchcraft, which is what people use for magic. And when you go and see a psychic and all those things, and then now astral project or teleport themselves into the astral world or into the spiritual realms. So let's to transport themselves into the astral realm to meet in their covens. But there will be a
right now he's talking about this cat, right?
A meeting place which they physically meet, and then now astral project or teleport themselves into the astral world or into the spiritual realms. So let's watch and learn something from this. So watch this cat, watch it. It's going to disappear. See it. Just watch it. You see, it has just disappeared. The cat just disappeared. That's teleportation. They have now entered into the astral realms. So if they have a coven, and the coven can be in different locations, sometimes it's in a tree, or under the water, under the ground, different locations, in caves, in grooves, in hills, on hills and mountains. They have different. This is another dog. Look at your left side, your left.
Right
You'll see it also disappearing very soon. Yeah, it also disappears. It's either a dog or a cat. And these are two major pets that are close to human beings that the witches usually operate through. See this guy. You would think he's drunk, walking around the neighborhood, but no, he's on an assignment. He's also convening around this area because he knows that that's where their meeting places. So he's also going to disappear. He has disappeared. So you see how witchcraft operates. They have their meeting place which they meet, and then they can now all enter into their covens. And in their covens, that's where they meet, and that's where they decide the fate of humanity. Whether and for anyone to become a witch, you must be initiated. For them to initiate you, you need to sacrifice a human being to be initiated into. I'm not talking about white witchcraft.
Right. Okay. And then there's another video I want to show y'all, because I think that, you know what I'm saying, some people are going to be like, oh, well, no, I'm going to post this video. Don't worry. There's going to be some people that's like, man, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, how they just disappear like that. Right. Don't worry. I'm going to show you something else. Let me go here. Just like this. Boom. All right. Now peep this. Let me see. Is it dark here? It's kind of reflecting. You should be able to see it though. See here? Disappeared. One more time. There was no skipping. See that? You see that? I'll post that video too. It's a short video. But this is, like I said, you know, witchcraft is very much real. And people want to pretend like it's not. And they want to pretend like spiritual warfare is not very much real. And, you know what I'm saying? And we are in these times that things is really showing themselves. And so sometimes people are under attack and they don't realize that they are. And so, you know, this is why we tell y'all to be careful within y'all dreams, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that y'all stay prayed up and make sure that you're covered. Is because, you know what I'm saying, there's many different demonic influences that will try to peer and peek people who can astral project and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, do divination, send and summon spirits, you know what I'm talking about, of wickedness, you know what I'm talking about, to be able to monitor and peer. Now we know that, you know, people hear monitoring spirits, and because people operate in jealousy and, you know what I'm saying, in error and flaw and inadequacy, you know what I'm saying, and hate, which they tend to want to watch and watch what you have going and watch your every move or whatever. They think that it's just them trying to be nosy, but it's them operating in a demonic entity. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how they try to gussy it up and make it seem like it's not, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm just trying to be nosy or whatever. That's a spirit, you know what I'm saying? Regardless. And many people are so used to watering down things that are very spiritual to make it just seem like it's a humanistic thing, and so it's so much more of a commonality when it's not. You see, there's people that get on my nerves, but you don't see me just monitor them. I have no desire to monitor them. You know what I'm saying? And especially if I don't like a person, if I disagree with a person or whatever, their lifestyle or whatever, you're not going to see me monitoring these people. I'm not going to be there trying to monitor these people. You know what I'm saying? There's things that in the past that, you know what I'm saying, have stood out, and it's like, okay, you might need to watch this person, you know what I'm saying? And after I've seen what I needed to watch of that person and realized and everything came to the forefront, left that alone and left it where it's at. People act like it's so hard to do that when it's not. It's very easy, you know what I'm saying? But one other thing that I want to tell y'all is this, is that once they get to trying to copy you or whatever and emulate you, then you've already won. You know what I'm saying? I seen the sister did that post, and she was saying that, you know, the little meme was saying that once they copy you, you've already won. And this is facts, because now they're looking for you to be the blueprint, you know what I'm saying? So they can try to emulate you all they want to, or pretend like, you know what I'm saying, they don't see you and take on what you got going. But this shows that it's a unsatisfactory, you know what I'm saying, void that they're trying to fill within themselves, is because they have a high intensive inadequacy within themselves, and they don't love who they really are. A person who does not love who they really are will make excuses and hold on to all the many different vices to make themselves feel gratified within themselves, but to only just really at the end of the day know that they're empty, and that, you know what I'm saying, they feel like that there's nothing about them that's really, you know what I'm saying, like special, which is very sad. And this is why we pray for those type of people, you know what I'm saying? This is why we don't look down on those people, we pray for them. Is because they don't feel like they're nothing. They will pretend like they can put on whatever they want to and act like and put on this, you know what I'm saying, bravado or whatever, but, you know what I'm saying, through all that facading and, you know what I'm saying, that sheathing of veiling and all this extra stuff, we see clearly what that is, especially whenever you're a person that you can see through things. You see exactly what it is. I see exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they'll come at you and do every little thing that they can do to try to make it seem like whatever and make fun of you or whatever. But whenever they do that, it seems like what that shows me is like the bully who has a very toxic and abusive family. So he goes to school to try to pick on those, you know what I'm saying, the person who he deems as a nerd who has a beautiful family. And so, you know what I'm saying, now he's picking on that nerd or whatever, only because at the home front, you know what I'm saying, things are not going. He doesn't get attention from his father. His father's abusive or a drunk, or his mother, you know what I'm saying, is out in the streets and stuff. Like that type of scenario, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what it is, nor am I speaking that over anybody. But I'm just using that as, you know what I'm saying, an example of this is what it kind of puts me in the mindset of, you know what I'm saying? And so this is why we should have compassion and pray for those type of people. You know what I'm talking about? Is because anybody that really has things happy in life and have things really happening is not going to be hating on anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't see people as my competition. I'm my own competition. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, this is why I grow every day. This is why I evolve the way that I do. It's because I'm trying to beat out me. There's people trying to look at me and compare, and it's like, it's cool, you do that, but you're not competing against me. You're competing against the work of the Most High in my life. How about them apples? Like, that's the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what you're doing, is putting yourself into the shoes of now wanting to combat the work of the Most High. And all you really got to do is just allow him to do great things with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not jealous of somebody else is a way better minister or can minister a prophetic word or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not jealous that a person can make more beautiful music than me. I'm not jealous that a person can probably pull a super bad looking woman or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? That's none of my concern. My concern is myself, where I'm going, you know what I'm talking about, at the end of my journey, and if I'm making the Most High proud and happy, you know what I'm talking about, in the many lives that he's using me to be able to affect, you know what I'm talking about, and how many of them that we can actually save, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of this darkness that we live in, you know what I'm saying, to be a light to help people, you know what I'm talking about. What legacy can I leave? So I have a bigger thing, you know what I'm saying, aspirations and things that, you know what I'm saying, is actually like way more important than the minuscule, minute, surface level things, you know what I'm saying. So this is why I don't see competition, you know what I'm talking about. And I said all that just to say that you should be the same way as you face people that come against you or whatever in your life, you know what I'm talking about. It's a lot more deeper than just what a person appears to be. You know what I'm saying? They can appear to be whatever they can appear to be whatever they want to be, you know what I'm saying. Let them go ahead and LARP it up, live action role play their lives, you know what I'm saying, until they blue in the face, you know what I'm talking about. But one thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, what's real is gonna stay, and what's fake is gonna fade away, you know what I'm talking about. So with that, just be encouraged, know that, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you are comfortable in who you are. Love who you are, you know what I'm saying. Love the Father, most definitely. Have love, you know what I'm saying, and admonition for the Lord, most definitely, you know what I'm saying, for the Adonai, right? And just know that, you know what I'm saying, He loves you for real. Just know that I love you for real, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I can keep telling you till I'm blue in the face, and I won't stop saying it. I got love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate each and every one of y'all giving me y'all time. You know what I'm saying? I encourage y'all to be able to continue to aspire to do great things. And I'm proud of y'all. Each and every one of y'all that's fighting battles that's unseen, overcoming things that are coming against you. You know what I'm talking about, that you are not able to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we need a spiritual safe space, you know what I'm talking about. And so, you know, just know that I've been through enough in life that I understand that, you know what I'm talking about. And so I'm proud of you for the things that you've overcome that you don't want to speak about. I'm not asking you to speak about those things at all. It's none of my business. Just continue to give it up to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I'll continue to meet you, you know what I'm talking about, in the spiritual realm in prayer, with intercessory prayer, you know what I'm talking about, and encouragement and loosing of the angels, and, you know what I'm saying, standing in your corner. Because I want to see you win. I want to see us all win and succeed. That's the whole thing, is that we're supposed to do is win and succeed. You know what I'm saying? So hold fast until, if you're going through things with relationships, if you're going through things, you know what I'm talking about, within your home, or you're going through things within your finances, or going through things within, you know what I'm saying, personal, or your health, you know what I'm talking about, just stand fast in the faith. Know that the Most High is working, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. And just know that, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to keep y'all in prayers uplifted, you know what I'm talking about. Uplift each and everybody, you know what I'm saying, and love on who loves you, you know what I'm saying. Be encouraged and inspired to do great things, you know what I'm saying. Don't be a negative Ned or a negative Nancy, you know what I'm saying, or a bitter Brad or a bitter Brenda. Don't be any of those things, because that's not the look, you know what I'm saying. And it is not a very becoming look, especially on somebody who was created in greatness. And you know what I'm talking about, especially in the image of the Most High, right? So, many blessings, peace unto each and every one of y'all. Favor, you know what I'm talking about. Love, prosperity, peace, abundance, you know what I'm talking about. Healing, restoration, repairing, you know what I'm talking about. Man, deliverance, salvation over each and every one of y'all. Favor, you know what I'm talking about. Grace and His mercy, you know what I'm talking about. May it be sufficient, and may it, you know what I'm saying, continuously cover each and every one of y'all and y'all families, you know what I'm saying, and most definitely comfort, you know what I'm talking about, throughout the storms and things that we all tend to face. So I love y'all. The Most High loves y'all way more, you know what I'm talking about, and I bid adieu. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shalom, peace.